Hello, America. Dave Hodges here. I'm the host of the Common Sense Show. We are the show freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. Thank you so much for joining us. Really good to be with you, and to our friends around the world. We welcome you too. We're all partners in freedom. We serve the same God. We're children of the same God. So we welcome everybody here. We are going to be talking about the mailbag. What? I'm going to go to comments that were made based on the piece that we did on sober DUIs. I have gained more information, but also, more importantly, I wanted to share with you some real stories from people that wrote in about the story that we did. It's shocking. And we need to take affirmative action against police and police departments and cities that are perpetuating this. Yes, they're perpetuating this on purpose. Oh, I'm not saying a police officer can't make an honest mistake, but it's happening far too often to chalk this up to chance. It's the real deal. Anyway, we are brought to you by an opportunity that's really, I think, once in a lifetime deal. And it's from the good people at Kirkstone Metals. And let me just share this thought with you, ladies and gentlemen. Uranium is at a premium right now. We have to import 98% of it. Now, the US government has looked at that and said, this is a big threat, especially with as polarized as the world's getting. We could be cut off. High-tech devices, defense, it's important. So the government's put $2.7 billion into this in January. And the big part of it's gone to the Athabasca Basin Uranium Project. Now, take Kirkstone Metals, a $10 million company competing with $250 million companies. Where's it going to be easier to get in? Where are you going to get the best bang for your buck when you invest? That's obvious. But they already own two of the mines. You're kidding. They're not going to stay a $10 million company for long. And you have an opportunity here to get in on the ground floor. Uranium prices have already gone up by a factor of 3.5, 350%. They're going to skyrocket from there because supply and demand, right? Low supply, high demand, high price. That's what's going to happen. So here's what you can do. Watch a no obligation video that'll say, here's what's going on in the industry. Here's the opportunity we're giving you at Kirkstone. And I think you'll see this is a good deal. Go to ksm-presentation.com/the Common Sense Show. Now, in the Common Sense Show, you have to put dashes between each one of the words. So again, it's ksm-presentation.com/the-common-sense-show. No obligation, people. It doesn't hurt you to look, and I think you're going to be really surprised at what you find. Okay, we need to take a look at what is happening with people in sober DUIs, real stories. Yeah, let's take a look at a few of the comments here, and then I'm going to talk about things we need to be pushing for with our local municipalities. Okay, here it is from Jolene Hart. My fiance is currently going through this situation. We have one good lawyer thinking about hiring a civil rights lawyer. That's right. When they deprive you of your rights in due process, like we saw with that FBI agent in the original story, they are subject to lawsuits. Um, this is interesting. This is really a hard story to read. This is so upsetting. I live in southeastern Michigan. I was arrested and had 2 years of my life spent jumping through fiery court-related hoops and spent a ton of money for taking my own meds and driving. I wasn't even driving when the cop pulled in behind me, nor was I impaired other than sleep deprived. By the way, sleep deprived can get you driving while impaired. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's true. And I want to give that out as a warning. And if you're sitting in your car and your keys are anywhere near you, if they were in the trunk, they probably couldn't do anything, but if they're on you, they're assuming you have or will be operating a motor vehicle. And if you're impaired, well, then that's it. Medicines count for impairment. So I'm using this tragic story, and I am sorry for this person, but there were some fundamental errors made there that I think if this person knew the law, things might have turned out differently. Um, Police merely enforce corporate policy, okay? Hence the accurate description of police. Yes, I want to tell you what I found out. This is a very good comment. Uh, Federal grants have been started under Biden in big numbers, still continuing, going to local police departments And they're encouraging quota systems. Now, the police say, we don't do quota systems. Then you talk to the cops. Well, it's kind of what they say, but it's strongly implied. If you want a good review rating on your performance as a police officer, you better be bringing in so many DUIs. And this encourages the illicit use of DUIs. Okay, so continuing. Searching right now for a lawyer for the same thing, had bilateral pneumonia and hypoxia and flu. Okay. I've had a past DWI, so although they did not smell anything, they arrested anyway. Well, you saw that with the FBI. She took the roadside test, which is a mistake. Never, 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 never take the roadside test. They're designed to make you fail. Gymnastics experts might fail that test, and it's all subjective in the eyes of the cop, whether you passed or failed. And you heard the FBI agent that, for a retired FBI agent that was arrested, she said, he didn't tell me whether I passed or failed. He just put the cuffs on me. He was going to arrest her no matter what because he had a quota. Took 50 hours in jail, $10,700 to get out. Okay. Spent the whole time in jail sleeping. After release, got medical attention. So if she had these things wrong, they had a duty and an obligation to provide medical care. And they didn't do it. That opens the jail up for lawsuits. Um, I was admitted to ICU for 4 days, regular room for 2 days. I lost my job, going through hell, waited 14 months for blood from the crime lab. Can you believe that? What's that old saying? Justice delayed is justice denied. This is inexcusable. A judge should have been dismissing that. She should have a lawyer go into court and say, Your Honor, we can't get the blood results. And my client was sick. Here's the medical receipts. Dismiss the charges. They don't have any evidence. They're not producing the evidence that we've demanded. Should have been case closed. It's over. And then they could have gone after. But here's the problem you have, though. These cops, and I am totally against qualified immunity. Sorry, police officer, I love you. I support you. I want you to be safe. But the bottom line is you should be subject to the same laws that you're enforcing on everybody else. And your bad actions should not be excused because you hide under the banner of qualified immunity. Needs to be gone, people. Seriously. Because if it was gone, you wouldn't see these illicit arrests. You wouldn't see people shot because they didn't raise their hands fast enough and they had nothing in their hands. I mean, these are cases that happen every day. This needs to change. Now, this is good to know. Happening in Hawaii, so you can't even go on vacation. Okay? Started in the pandemic, and now some prominent businesses are suing on Oahu. Okay, this is the best advice out here. Never submit to field sobriety. Now, cops lie, and the Supreme Court has said they're allowed to lie. Really? Thank you. Thank you, Supreme Court, for encouraging integrity from those who are supposed to police us and protect us. What a terrible ruling. But anyway, they will lie and they will say, if you don't do this, you're losing your license. No, no. If you're impaired, you'll lose your license. But they have to prove you're impaired. And I also tell you this, let's say you had a beer, maybe two, and you're not even sure if you're 0.08. The reality is by the time they get your blood, that's going to be about 2 or 3 hours, your blood alcohol will go down. So the smart thing is to refuse it. Now they are going to take you in. Okay. But do you want to take a roadside test that has no standards for passing or failing? And it's the cop's word versus yours, and you're going to lose automatically. You're basically committing legal suicide if you submit to a roadside test because they're not going to say, oh, I think you passed. Go ahead and go. This is totally what I agree with right here. Okay. No qualified immunity. They should have to get insurance like medical people have. Okay. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to get really bold. I support the police. I've supported police raises. I've given to police charity balls. I've done all that. But I will say this. If they are caught making a sober DUI arrest, they should lose their job and they should lose their pension because they're wrecking someone's life. Do you understand the costs involved in this? And they need to pay the price for their negligence. And the price should be the same thing that they're imposing on their victim. Do you not agree? I mean, I've seen these cases. You've seen them on YouTube. Here's the paperwork. I was 0, 0, no drugs on my blood test. They're still charging me with DUI. It's because that federal money is nice, isn't it? Loveland, Colorado, mid-Tennessee, Nashville. That money is nice, isn't it? Fort Collins, Colorado. It's really nice. And here's what they've done in Arizona. They've changed the law. You don't have to meet a standard to be drunk. If you simply admit to the cop, oh, I'm a little tired, maybe that's why I touched the center line. Oh, right there, you're impaired. You're going to jail and you're going to be charged with DUI. Can you believe that? But that's the law, people. Never admit anything. So again, as I told you yesterday, when a cop walks up to your door and says, roll down the window, you roll down the window. Have you been drinking? I don't answer any questions without my attorney present. I'm going to administer a roadside test. I do not submit to a roadside test. I'm willing to comply with what the law says. I have to give blood, but I am not submitting to a roadside test. Respectfully, be polite, be firm. Well, you have nothing to hide. Well, just be on your way. No, 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 no. Don't listen to that crap. They're designed to engage you in chit chat, make you relax and think, okay, if I just cooperate, I'll be on my way. No, if you cooperate, you're going to jail. And you're going to be going to jail to be tested. But if you're 0-0, they should let you out. And here are the magic words when you are getting your blood drawn and it comes back, oh, 0. Oh, crap. Okay, here's what you say. You're peeling back your qualified immunity. You have the officer take me back to my car. Of course, by then they've towed it. So then you tell them, I want you to pay for my tow expense and take me there. And say, you're peeling back your qualified immunity. Sometimes police departments will bend when they hear that, particularly if they're in a jurisdiction where qualified immunity has been rolled back for violation of constitutional liberties. Now, here's my advice. Don't drink and drive, ever. Don't drink a beer and drive. Okay? And if you're one of those legal pot smokers, don't get behind a car that day. By the way, it takes marijuana a total of about 21 days to leave your system. I'm not talking about the psychogenic effects. I'm talking about totally to be out of your system and not be detectable through tests. So if a cop pulls you over, Mr. Pot Smoker, okay, oh, I think you might be high. Okay, so they take you and they test you. You got residual pot. Good luck having your lawyer explain that, well, that was 2 weeks ago. He hadn't had anything in his system since then. Good luck trying to prove that. Okay, I hope this has helped. But here's the bottom line. Answer no questions respectfully. I don't answer questions without my lawyer present. I don't submit to a roadside test. That's it. No matter what they say to you, stick to those because they'll try to intimidate you into going along with the plan. Come on, you just got to walk a straight line. You'll be on your way. Don't submit. All 50 states are uniform. You do not have to do a roadside test to keep your driver's license. Now, if you go to the station and you blow .08, you're going to lose your license and you're going to go to jail. And you should. I hope this helps.